video department. The Cavaliers are at home tonight. 7 o'clock is the tip-off against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Who's on the Timberwolves now?
Karl Anthony Towns. He just won the three-point contest.
Right.
You got, I believe,
Jason Sudeikis.
Anthony Edwards.
From ER?
No.
Oh.
Ian Edwards is who you're thinking of.
From Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Who did you say?
Jason Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis.
I'm just naming people. You know I know basketball, Alan. It's my favorite sport.
Russell.
Okay, Karl Anthony Towns. I know that name. Anyway, T-Wolves, Cavs tonight. 7 o'clock on your FM home for Cleveland Cavaliers basketball. 100.7 WMMS The Buzzard. Hey, Monica.
Hi.
Monica's number 302.5 on the blacklist.
Found her.
What's going on, Monica? How are you?
Long-time listener, because my daughter is in Lithuania, and she's a tanker. So I was just sharing with you that she drives the tank but does not shoot anything. So just so you know, just because it's driving doesn't mean that you're actually able to shoot anything.
You said she's in Lithuania?
Yeah, she's in the Army in Lithuania.
Wow. How long has she been over there?
She's supposed to...
Oh, boy.
Are you in Lithuania?
Yeah, you're cutting out, Monica. You're not calling from right next to your daughter, I hope. Okay, well, there's... thank you, Monica. I do appreciate the tip. It's trying to tell us that there's a driver and a gunner. So just because you're
That makes sense.
in the thing doesn't mean that you're... Also, a lot of people getting me hip in the break that a lot of those tanks, well, when they're stateside, they are fitted with rubber treads. So they're not destroying streets when they're driving around. Alan, my cousin died in a tank accident in 2005. He was training to be a Navy SEAL, and he was hanging out the top of a tank when the guy driving it drove them off a high-ass bridge.
Oh, my gosh.
So not only do you die probably because the tank crushes you or you're in the tank or...
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
That's a straight-up Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade death.
Yes.
I didn't know a tank could go on a bridge.
Yeah.
That's a
apparently it
sturdy
can.
bridge.
How do you think tanks cross rivers and things like that in countries that
I didn't
need to...
think about the rivers.
Yeah. There are a lot of rivers and a lot of tanks and a lot of bridges. There's Jeff. There's Bo. There's the late Lloyd. Yeah. They got to get across, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I just didn't think that a bridge could hold a tank. That probably sounds stupid,
What kind
doesn't
of
it?
bridge are you thinking of?
A drawbridge with a troll under it.
With a troll under it.
No, I mean just like your run-of-the-mill, a regular bridge. Tanks are heavy.
Yes, but bridges are built to withstand lots of vehicles at the same time.
Yeah, but how many cars is a tank?
Well,
how many cars heavy is a tank?
How many
But
cars
think of
heavy?
like a semi-truck going over a bridge.
Yeah.
A tank is heavier than a semi-truck.
When it's fully loaded,
I
it
was
could
gonna
be pretty close to that.
Well, a tank can probably be like several tons.
Yeah.
So,
By the way, Monica was the lady whose driveway I got stuck in the one night. Yeah.
oh, really?
Yeah.
No. Did you tell us that at the time?
I said she was on the blacklist. I didn't remember what number.
Okay.
Yeah, no. That was
She's
Monica.
back there. She's middle of the pack.
Well, you could tell how far away she lives because her phone keeps cutting out. She's in the middle of the woods.
Bentleyville is what the screen said.
Yeah.
What the hell's Bentleyville?
Exactly. It's over there by like Chagrin Falls.
Oh, well, she chagrin fell.
68 tons.
That's
And
much
what
a
do
tank
you
is.
get? Another year older and deeper in debt.
No. A semi-truck, oh God, now we're in pounds, can be up to 35,000 pounds. It's divided by 2, right? So a semi-truck is only 17 tons. Mm-hmm. So a tank is...
How much is a tank?
68
68 tons.
tons.
Ooh, that is heavy.
Yeah, so it's four...
Well,
It's 4 semi-trucks. So, yeah, I guess. a
There's
bridge can do
some
it.
bridges can handle it and some can't.
Yeah.
maybe that's why.
Well, you could have 4 semi-trucks on a bridge at the same time. I wouldn't be comfortable with
bridges.
that.
Imagine, I was gonna imagine.
Dear
you just,
Google, how many cars is a tank?
How many cars heavy is a tank?
Yeah.
I do get uncomfortable. Like if there's bridges where there are traffic lights on them, I don't like
I
that.
don't think I've ever seen that.
You've never been on a bridge where there's a traffic light on it?
No.
Yeah.
Have you? I've never seen that.
Like if you're at one end and there's one at the other end, you're on the bridge.
I've been.
You
on,
mean for narrow bridges where it's only passable one way?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never seen one with a traffic light though.
Well, if
I've
it's
seen
a-
with like a toll,
No, it's
booth
not
on
No,
the
like
other
a
side.
really narrow bridge if only one side.
Like small
You know, like
towns.
when you drive through a construction area and they do the
Yeah.
stop and the slow. If it's only passable for one group of cars.
But even like when we went to
I'm thinking of-
Jim 2's wedding, like there was a big bridge because it was I think it was an island or wherever it was. You go over the bridge, and as you're getting into town, if there's enough traffic, you'd be stopped up on the bridge.
And that's what I don't
as you're
like
getting in
sitting
because
on no damn
yeah.
bridge because
Yeah.
if there's a big truck behind me or there's a big truck ahead of me,
Oh, man.
there's nothing I can do.
I was stuck in traffic. I mean, first of all, I drove a U-Haul stuck in traffic on the George Washington Bridge for so long. But then, like another time when I was driving back from New York, I was stuck on the Tappan Zee Bridge, and that was like an hour and a half just sitting on the bridge. So New York might not be the place for you, Poundcake.
No, I don't think I would like New York because I'm thinking about like the bridge in Lorraine.
Bridge or a tunnel, which would you prefer?
yeah, Lorraine has one.
Oof. Bridge.
A tunnel. I don't mind a tunnel. I don't care about a tunnel.
If a tunnel collapses on you,
But it's been like that for years, and I'm not adding to the pressure of the tunnel. When I'm on a bridge, I'm adding to the weight of the bridge. A tunnel has been the way it is for I don't know how long. There's nothing I'm going to do to tick that off.
It also depends. You know, when you take the Lincoln Tunnel from like Jersey into Manhattan, that's weird because you're going under the river too.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I lived in Pittsburgh, there's a lot of tunnels, but you're going through mountains. You're not going underwater. You know, so it's like obviously it's not that much of a
guess-
difference. But the way your brain processes it, you're kind of like, oh, okay.
if
Well,
each of
under
them
a
were
river,
to
yeah.
collapse, a tunnel were to collapse
Yes,
and
a
a bridge
tunnel-
were to
a
collapse,
tu- both
you're
would-
not getting out of a bridge.
I'm saying
or
both
out of a tunnel.
But you're not getting out of either.
You could survive a bridge collapsing.
Okay, but I'm saying both are
Depends
deadly.
where it's at. I mean,
My mind can do.
You're not getting out of a tunnel collapse. There's no way.
but you're
There's
not.
no way.
Honestly, you might be better off in the tunnel collapse as long as it doesn't fill with water, because there might be debris that will trap you. If you are on a bridge, I'm talking like the George Washington Bridge, you're falling in the river.
Yeah, you can get out and swim.
not at that
not-
height.
not
Not gonna
height.
do
Not
that.
from that height.
The pressure would hit you in the water, like, and
You
you're
think you
inside
would
your
die
car.
on impact inside your car?
From
You
a
smack the top of
giant
your car.
bridge, we're talking like a big bridge.
no, I know.
Yeah,
That's why people commit
yeah.
suicide at the Golden Gate Bridge.
I understand that
Yeah.
fully.
Yeah.
I get that, but I would think you would have a better chance of survival falling off of a tall bridge than being crushed under a tunnel.
Provided you are crushed, it's a coin flip.
You might be
You know,
crushed in.
Do you want to hit the water like it's concrete, or do you want to be? I mean, did we all forget Independence Day when they were trapped in the tunnel, Bill? They all got out. The
Yeah.
dog leapt into the side closet at the very last minute.
Right.
The dog outran a fireball.
But that was not a collapse. That was just an explosion going down the tunnel.
That's all it was?
Yeah,
It wasn't a collapse?
No.
I guess I don't remember that movie.
I was
apologies.
I was thinking about like the Lorraine Bridge. Like if they have a really bad traffic day and there's a stoplight at the end of the bridge where there's an intersection, traffic will be backed up on that bridge and there's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta wait. And there's just something eerie about where I'm like, I'm not at either end. I'm not close to either end. So if something were to happen, I'm just gonna have to get out and run, or I have to floor it around the traffic because I'm right in the middle.
So that adds a third possibility to Poundcake's terror: tunnel, bridge, or having to run fast.
Oof. Running.
For him.
I feel like it's like I would stop, drop, and roll.
Cardio's the
like,
third one.
Like you're not on fire. I'm like, but I'm more efficient rolling than
You
I
would
am running.
stop, drop, and roll on a
bridge, yeah.
on a collapsing bridge. You would stop, drop, and roll.
I'm rolling.
Yeah.
I'll get there quicker if I run.
But you're not on an incline.
No, I'm just saying.
You'd be flat rolling. How are you going to get any speed doing that?
more around.
I'm just picturing him just rolling on it. And I was like, what is he doing?
Okay,
right
but
now?
how are you picturing him rolling? Are you picturing him like flat, parallel?
Yeah, like doing
and
like a
rolling
log
on his side?
roll.
I was picturing him
yes,
arms across his
like-
chest like he's in a.
Oh, I was thinking knees tucked with his head in between his knees,
Like a
rolling
ball?
like a somersault. That's how I was
Oh.
picturing him rolling.
And everyone around him running over him, around him as they're getting
I'm
to
tripping
the
people.
Tripping? That's not fair. It's not nice. Well, listen. Let's hope that remains a hypothetical situation.
You guys ever play that game where you'd like one person would be the log and they'd roll and you'd jump over them? And then, oh man, we play that on trampoline.
Popcorn is what it's called on a trampoline, where you sit in tight as balls you can.
You have one person, they lay long ways, and then they roll, and you got to jump over them without touching them. If you touch them, then you're the log. And it's basically, if you're the log, you're gonna get jumped on.
Yes.
Like that's basically the whole game, and it's just one of those games where you think of as an adult, like kind of going back to you at the birthday party,
like, what is this?
Where you're like, what? This is so stupid. But as a kid, you're like, yeah,
Let's
you
get hurt.
You weigh 40 pounds, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Popcorn's the same, where you
That's why you try and jump.
hold your legs and you try to pop the person out from being a ball.
Yeah.
You land on your neck. None of it's good. I don't know. I think you just volunteer to be the popcorn ball, though. I don't think
There's probably about a 25-year-old Sylvester Stallone movie called Daylight. Does anybody remember Daylight?
Yeah, I remember Daylight. Ooh,
where the tunnel collapses. Ooh. They're in a tunnel in Jersey.
The claustrophobia in that movie is
brutal. That's right. And Sylvester Stallone, kind of the tail end of his action career, I think, was Daylight. He was the only man with the skill and the knowledge to get everybody out of that tunnel before the whole thing comes down.
Die Hard in a tunnel. That's
right.
Die Hard in a tunnel.
Dude, as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more afraid of things like that. And I don't know
Sylvester
why.
Stallone movies from the mid-90s?
Just them coming back. And
Judge Dredd.
Honestly, Daylight is what I'm becoming more afraid of.
Hey, welcome to my team. Welcome to Inside.
Bill's an inside cat.
Yeah.
No, I think of things like becoming like small spaces freak me out to think about and never have before, or like being at sea, being in open water. Really, even just the thought of it really gets me anxious. It's like little things like that never have bothered me before now really bother me.
Well, it's like when I'll watch documentaries of those guys that go cave spelunking or whatever, under the water, like underwater
divers.
caves.
Yeah,
cave divers.
My boyfriend was telling
me...
me...
And they're squeezing through these. I'm like, oh my God. No,
he watched some documentary about a cave rescue.
Yeah.
The one with the soccer team.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and he was telling me about it, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I always wanted to go explore a cave. That was like a bucket list thing for me, and the more I think about it or hear stories like that, I'm like, you're not getting me in a cave.
Well,
I'm not going in a cave.
You could go to like Mammoth Caves in Kentucky or something, where it's like a huge cave.
But if anything happens, like you're so screwed, man.
No, because there's like passages everywhere. Yeah. I mean, it's a tourist attraction.
I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe,
we went to one in Missouri a few years ago, like my whole family, and it's just a guy that owns a cave, and he takes people on tours. And
how do you own a cave?
It's probably just part of your
land.
It's part
of his land.
You buy X amount of acres, and there happens to be a cave on it.
Hi, turns out I got a cave.
Yeah, so he takes people on tours down there. It's just like one guy. Like we got there and we're like, this is weird because it's not like the other caves that we'd been to were more touristy or like they're state owned. It's part of a national park, and this is just some dude in his cave. And his name was Carl.
Welcome to Ray's Cave. Oh, Carl's Cave.
Carl's Cave of Wonders.
Caveman Carl. That's what he calls himself. And he's telling stories. He's like, yeah, one time I was exploring in here and my light went out and I got lost and I was in the cave for 16 hours just trying to find my way out.
That's terrifying.
That's the worst scenario possible.
I think it's because I still have a pretty intense fear of the dark, like completely pitch black. I'm very uncomfortable with that. So it's not so much the small space
racist
as it is not being able to pitch black. You can't navigate. You have no sense of direction at all.
You ever seen the movie The Descent?
Dude, that movie
where those
messed
girls go
me up.
And there's things down there and they start hunting them.
I got in a fight with my college roommates because we all watched that movie together.
Of course you did.
Listen, no, because I said that could happen. I was like, we don't know what's living in caves. And my roommates were like, you're an idiot. This is a horror movie. There are no cave creatures out there, whatever. I'm like,
that's correct.
But you don't know that.
But we do.
How do you know that?
Because there would be seismic activity. There are people who are constantly measuring tectonic shifts and things like
exploring.
That's right. If there was a breed of nocturnal cave monsters,
if you got deep enough in a cave... You don't know, is all I'm saying. They discover new species of fish every year.
Yes, because the oceans are immeasurably deep.
You don't know how deep caves go?
Well, they can't go to the center of the earth. I mean,
Prove it.
they can only go down.
Well, when they do,
so
they get
far.
a little uninhabitable
That's
with lava.
right.
Which
Yes.
is why there would be a different breed, a different type of species that
A
could
lava-proof monster.
A lava-proof cave monster.
Well, we should check in with Caveman Carl.
Yeah.
We should avail ourselves of his expertise.
All I'm saying
And
is
see
that
if
you
there's-
can't say for sure that it doesn't exist.
But
No, I can't,
probability-
but scientists can.
Scientists have not said that.
I don't know anything.
When did scientists come out and say there's no lava-proof cave monsters existing? Never.
Because there were people asking these same dopey questions when The Descent came out 20 years ago, and the people were like, there's no such thing as, of course they go, well, that's what they want.
It's what they want you to think so that they can sell tickets and feed their beasts.
Feed their beasts.
They're beasts.
That was my point. And then I also said that if that were me, if that were to happen, because I think one of the girls gets out,
But wait, what was your point?
that it could happen, that movie could have happened.
Well, that's a theory. What's the point of the argument?
That the movie freaked me out so much that I was saying, and they were like, why? It's just a scary movie. I'm like, because that could happen. Like you would, and so my next point of it was that that would be so traumatic that, because I think one of the 3 girls or one of the 4 girls gets out at the end of that movie.
Yeah, because they
Spoiler
did a
alert.
sequel.
And I was like, you would have to go on. Now I'm thinking back on this. You would have to undergo like a memory erasing surgery if that happened to you. If you, I understand.
You're so stupid.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. And
Listen,
I
if
was
there are
like
cave
18.
monsters, there's also a thing to wipe your memory.
But that's what I was saying. I was like, because we're all, there's 4 women roommates. I was like, if we went cave exploring and these monsters got all of you and I survived, I would have rather been eaten, or I need to have my memory erased, because you can't live a normal life after that.
Well, you would have probably some survivor's guilt, but there are a lot of people who survive trauma, and they survive. They don't have access to memory wiping technology.
Well, I think that's the kind of stuff the government's hiding. That there are
Nocturnal
real
cave monsters.
No, memory wiping surgeries and things like that. That exists, and they do it to people. Either way,
like the little Men in Black thing that they
Yes.
flash in your eyes.
if 3 of your best friends died from these cave monsters, you wouldn't want to forget that.
I mean, first I'd have to come up with 3 friends, but I take your point.
The 3 best friends that he ever had, and then they died by cave monsters.
What happened to your
get.
friends?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. 2 words: cave monsters.
Lava-proof cave monsters.
I would be immediately investigated for murder if I said my friends died by cave monsters.
As you should be.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Sandy.
Yes.
What's going on, Sandy?
Oh, I told your caller I know that you've moved on, but I called to tell you about a bridge where I was born and raised, if you were interested.
You were born and raised on a bridge?
No. Oh, love you. Love you. You are so quick.
Yeah.
No. It's a suspension bridge that's well over 100 years old. I believe designed by a gentleman, perhaps of the name of George Roble, and it's the Wheeling Suspension Bridge. It's a National Historical Archive, and I own several $1,000s of it because I went through it one time, but not all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I always said the hand of God reached out and stopped me. I hit something solid as I was going through the railing in a car, and it turned my car around, and of course my insurance had to pay.
Yeah.
But
But
it's a variant.
you live to tell the story, is what you're saying.
Oh, thank God, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I had only-
what Sandy's trying to tell us about the suspension bridge, and of course you'll have to suspend your disbelief, is that George Goebel, who was a big star back in the day,
Robo.
from the Hollywood Squares, was out there building bridges, and Sandy was on one of George Goebel's bridges, and it was a whole thing. But you're okay now.
Yes, and it's a wonderful bridge, but it's possibly going to be made into just a walking bridge. I was walking on it one time going to town, and here comes a Greyhound bus. Things that heavy were not allowed on that bridge.
Right.
And he's in the middle of the bridge, and I turn around and I'm screaming like a banshee, go back!
Uh-huh. You were trying to warn him. He wouldn't hear of it.
No. And not that long, well, a couple of years ago it's been now, but someone took a a camper over the bridge, and then they closed it for a couple of years to traffic, and it's a real hardship because it leads from Wheeling Island, where I was born, over to the town of Wheeling, and hence get you over to Bridgeport, Ohio, on and on and on and on. But it's a part of National Road.
All right, well, listen, I'm glad you lived to tell the tale, Sandy. I appreciate the call. There's
That reminds me, though.
in Berea. Mary Santora's hometown of Berea, Ohio.
Just moved back.
Sandy reminded me that one of our customers, Colleen is what she said, is how she pronounces her name, came out to my show on Thursday at High and Dry. She came out from Huron, got a hotel, stayed the night, and came like just by herself. And she's sitting down, like very sweet lady. And she's sitting down. She's like, "Oh, do you listen to the show?" Like making friends at the table. It was very, very nice. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming out, Colleen. And,
Imagine being named after a vitamin.
Choline.
B6, B12 make me feel just fine.
And then at the end of the night, she was trying to figure out how to call a cab. And I was like, "Oh, sweetie, don't." So I got her an Uber.
That's very nice of her. To
yeah,
come
it's
out.
very nice. Yes,
Yeah.
it was like I was putting everything because she'd gone to another show that I did out closer to her, and I was like, "Oh, you came all the way here," and then like, yeah, she made it like it was like her little
like a little
vacation,
trip, yeah.
little night trip, day trip to the big city to watch a comedy show. So thank you.
Could this be a
Colleen.
long con to get free Ubers?
Well, she had to drive here.
Well, it was just back to her hotel, so it wasn't like a huge trip. It was just from Tremont to downtown.
Alan Mary is describing a lobotomy. Well,
I thought
Yeah,
that
that
made
works.
you like an invalid.
well, no, I think
but
I think
memory's
it's
gone.
I think that's kind of a remedial way to describe a memory wiping. But you know what I say? I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. If no. Alan,
Yes.
are they MS-13 cave monsters?
Yes, that's where they went.
They were. The Descent 3 was when they went down there.
Just
and they were the MS-13
Keep
cave
an open
monsters.
mind about it is all I'm saying. Until science comes out and says that, these don't exist. I mean,
I will not keep an open mind about
Well,
that.
Alan-
I keep an open mind about most things, but I will not keep an open mind about subterranean cave monsters. So in your mind, that movie is basically a documentary. The movie The Descent.
I said it could have happened. That there's no proof that that's not possible.
So you're going with the you can't disprove a negative argument.
Yeah.
Hey.
Show me there's no cave monsters.
Hey, show me. All right, I got to take a break. I will have those Cavs tickets for you. They get another crack at the Pistons. They lost to them twice recently. They're going to play on March 19th here at home. So you want to get a Cavs game under your belt, I'll get you those after the break. 3519